Welcome back to mathematicsclass.org. We're looking at part B of question 10 of the January 2017 CSEC Maths paper 2. It says a ship travels from Akron, and a bearing of 30 degrees to Belleville, B. Okay, good. 90 kilometers away. It's 90 kilometers away. It then travels to Compton, C. Travels along here to Compton, C, which is 310 kilometers due east of Akron. So it's east of Akron. And you remember our directions, right? You have the north line. Well, you have one up here. It's north. You have south, east, and west. So here, C is east of A, right? As shown in the diagram below. It says indicate on the diagram the bearing 030 and the distance is 90 and 310 kilometers. Alright, indicate on the diagram the bearing of 030 or 30 degrees. Well, you know, bearings are written in 3 figures, and bearings are measured from the north in a clockwise direction. It says from A to, and a bearing of 30 degrees to B. So the bearing of 30 degrees would be this. Is 030 degrees. Alright. Then the 90 kilometers will be this distance here. This is the 90 kilometers. Alright, let me see if I can fix up the writing here. So that's 90 kilometers, and it says it then travels to C, which is 310 kilometers due east of A. So this is 310 kilometers. All right. Now, after that, it says calculate to the nearest kilometer the distance between B and C. To the nearest kilometer, the distance between B and hold on, it says from A to B, it then travels to C, which is 310 kilometers. Oh, 310 kilometers due, which is, oh, it doesn't say it travels 310 kilometers. It says it travels to C, which is 310 kilometers due east of A. So the 310 kilometer would really be here. 310 kilometers. Alright, good. Now, calculate to the nearest kilometer the distance between B and C. This distance between B and C, you want BC. Alright. Now, you can't use trig ratio, whether sine equal opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, or tangent is opposite over adjacent, because those apply to right angle triangles only, and you don't know that this is a right angle triangle. It doesn't even look like it. I don't think it would be a right angle triangle either if you draw it accurately. I don't think so. Right? Now, you will have to use the sine rule or the cosine rule. Let's try the sine rule and see how it works. Now, what the sine rule says is that any side, such as AB, which is 90, divided by the sine of the angle opposite to it, this angle out here, sine C is equal to this side, which is 310 kilometers, divided by the sine of the angle opposite to it. That would be sine ABC is equal to the side, say BC, over the sine of the angle opposite to it, which is BAC. You can find BAC. All of this is east. C is east of A, and you have the from the north line at 30 degrees. So what remains is 60 degrees to make the total 90 degrees. So sine 60. Alright, good. Let's try that. You have C. You don't know what the angle at C is. I should really say ACB, sine ACB. But you don't know what that is. 310 or sine of ABC. You don't know what this is. So you will have two unknowns here. If you should put this and this together, you have two unknowns. Let's put this and this together. Well, you don't know what BC is, even though you have the angle. So you cannot put this with either of these. That means you cannot work out 90 over sine ACB equals 310 over sine ABC, because you don't know ACB, the angle ACB, nor ABC. You would have two unknowns. So if you try the 90 over sine ACB, 90 over sine ACB, equated to BC over sine 60. Yeah, you want to know what BC is. That's what you're calculating. But the thing is, you don't know the angle ACB, so sine rule still cannot work in that case. Now suppose you try this and this, equate this to this. What would happen? You'd have 310 over sine ABC, which you don't know, is equal to BC, which you don't know, over sine 60. So you really cannot use the sine rule in this case. You'd have to try the cosine rule. Now, the cosine rule, I try the sine rule first because it's a bit simpler, but in this case it's not working out. So let me try the cosine rule. The cosine rule say any side square, in this case BC squared, is equal to one of the other side square, 90 square, plus the other side square, which is 310 square, minus 2 times one of those sides, 90, by the other side, 310, times the cosine of the angle opposite to the one you want to find, which is 60. Right, it can work. Right? Now you have the cosine rule on the formula sheet, so you don't have to worry too much about trying to remember it. But you have both sine and cosine rule on the formula sheet. Alright, so let's use a calculator. Let's get our calculator here. Alright. So what we have is 90 square. 90. This doesn't have a direct square, so I say to the power of 2. 90 square is 8100. So 8100 plus 310 squared. We have 310 squared equals 96100. So we have 96100 minus, now this is 2 times 90 times 310 equal 55,800. So this is 55,800 times the cosine of 60. Let's just find the cosine of 60. Remember, you must have your calculator in degree mode because we're dealing with degrees. So we say cos cos 60 equals 0.5. Alright, so the cosine of 60 is equal to 0.5 equal. Alright, so BC squared is equal to what? We don't really have a lot of space to do a lot of things, so you would have the space on your paper, but I don't have a lot of space on the screen. So let's go to it directly. 8/100 plus 9/6/100 minus 55. Alright, let's just do it one at a time. This is what? 104/200 104/200 minus, and then you say 55/800 times 0.5 equals 27/900. So you have 27/900, and what does that give you? You're going to say 104/200 minus that equals 76/300. So that is 76/300. That is BC squared is 76/300. So therefore, what is BC equal to? BC is equal to, in that case, it would be the square root of 76/300. Square root of that equals 276.22 kilometers. So you have 276.22 kilometers. Good. So there you have it. Now what you're going to do, let's see what else going on here. We're going to do is, they say to the nearest kilometers, to the nearest kilometers, so you just write 276. So therefore you end up with BC being 276 kilometers. You make sure to write down the unit. All right, let's see what's going on further down here. After that, they say calculate to the nearest degree the measure of angle ABC. Angle ABC to the nearest degree. All right, angle ABC. All right, good. We want ABC. Let's just erase some of these things to get some space. Now, angle ABC, which is this angle. Now, you can use this cosine, the sine rule now. We say this side 310 kilometer over the sine of the angle opposite to it, that's angle ABC, which you want to find, is equal to BC. It's not about it, right? BC. We know what BC is now. Equal 276.22. Even though I wrote down the answer into the nearest kilometers, I'm going to do further calculation here. So I use the more accurate figure. What was it again? 0.224. Let's call it 0.225. So 276.225. So 276.225 over the sine of the 60 degrees. Alright, you have various ways of doing this. You could cross multiply. You could multiply both sides by sine ABC, then multiply by sine 60 and divide by 276.22. You could invert both sides and then multiply, whichever way you want to do it. What I will do is do that cross multiplying thing that seemed to be somewhat popular. Sine 60 by 300, so by 310 sine 60 is equal to sine ABC by this 276.225 sine ABC. After that, I'm going to divide by the 276.225. That is gone, so I only have sine ABC to find. I must divide the left hand side by 276.225 as well. So what is sine ABC equal to? Well, let's see. That is going to be 310. Let me move the calculator here. 310 multiplied by the sine of 60 by the sine of 60 equal, that's 268.4678 and so on, divided by 276.225 equal. So I know that the sine of the angle is 0.97. Alright, 0.972. Yeah, the sine of the angle is 0.972. The sine of ABC is 0.972. Now, therefore, let me just erase some of these to get space. We're going to find out what that angle is now. Alright, so therefore, if the sine of ABC is 0.976, then what is ABC? ABC is equal to the sine inverse of 0.976. So ABC is equal to, on some calculator you would press the shift or second function before you press sine. In this case, with my calculator here, what I do is say sine inverse. Oh, let me clear it first. No, sine inverse of 0.976 equal 77 point. Well, it's I'd said to the nearest. It had said to the nearest degree. I remember that 77 degrees. All right, so that's 77 degrees. So this angle right here is 77 degrees. All right. Now let's see what else this question was saying. All right. So it had said to the nearest degree the measure of ABC. And it says determine the bearing of C from B. Determine the bearing of C from B. Okay. Again, we erase to make some space. We want the bearing of C from B. So, when you say the bearing of C from B, when you say from B, it means that is where you're going to draw the arc. Alright? Make some space here. And try to remember that this was 77. This is 77 degrees. C from B, mean you're going to draw the arc at B, and this is the angle you want. Alright? Now, the bearing of C from B is going to be this angle, because you measure from the north in a clockwise direction. And the north line, when you say the bearing of C from B, means B is where you draw the north line and you draw the arc. So we're going to find that. Alright, now if you should consider going straight across, what we could do is find this angle. Then you have an additional 90 degrees and you add them. Alright, so we're going to find this little angle inside here. Now that angle, which, okay, it forms what is called a Z angle, right? It's alternate to this. So you have 77, you have 60, and it's all 180 degrees, they add 2. So 77 plus 60, that's going to be 7 and 6, which is 13, 137 degrees, right? So you have 137 degrees so far. This and this add to. Now 180 degrees minus this, same as 80 minus 37. If I drop 30 from 80, I get 50, and drop 30 from this, I get 7. 50 minus 7 is going to be what? 43. So this is 43 degrees, right? That's 43, because when you add them up again, 77 plus 43, 70 plus 40 is 110. 7 plus 3 is 120. 120 plus 60, 180. So they add up. Alright. So you know that if this angle is 43, this angle must also be 43. Because remember, this line, you know, is parallel to the line from A to C, and AC is east, and this line is east. So that angle, the bearing that you want, is going to be 43 plus, this is running east and this is running north. This must be 90. 90. So it's going to be 3 and 0, 3. 9 and 4, 13. You have 133 degrees. So the bearing is 133. Alright? So it's 133 degrees. Let's see what else is going on now. Yeah, right, that's what we just found. Looks like this question is done because it says total 15 marks. So when you see that, you know that's the end of a question. And the new question is question 11, which we will examine at a later time. So I'll see you.